Have you ever had any experiences where you thought to yourselves, if I do this or cross this line, there is no going back?
I think when we bought the studio,
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean,
that was huge. What a enormous life-changing moment, right? Like it was a man, how much of it was debt at the time? By the time we did all the tenant improvements and everything, like built out the space and stuff, like we were probably $1 million in debt, which was
at that point in time was enormous.
yeah. Like I hoped I would get out of it eventually. Like it was not trivial, right? I mean, obviously, when we started the whole thing, yeah, I mean, walking into my boss's office at NCIX was pretty terrifying when I laid out that I am leaving, because that was the only way that I had any kind of negotiating position. I basically had to say, look, I'm leaving regardless. So you have two paths you can follow. You can follow the path where I help keep NCIX Tech Tips running and help you transition this, or you have to figure out how to replace me in 2 weeks notice or whatever. Wait, sorry, what are the two options? Right. Either I walk away and you try to figure out how to transition this thing in 2 weeks notice and I go work for a competitor and I will build this again for them. Or you work with me. I take Linus Tech Tips. I help you keep NCIX Tech Tips running. I help you transition it. And I will give you, he asked for 4 months notice or something like that, which in retrospect is way too long. You should never be working at a job that you're leaving for a quarter. By the end of it,
time.
I mean, the good news is there was a lot of time to transition things off me. The bad news is by the last month, no one was assigning me anything. I didn't have anything to do because
I think there's some scenarios where it might make sense. Extremely senior people in certain positions, if you want to leave super amicably. I've seen situations where you want to give a really serious amount of time so they can recruit and fully train up the replacement, stuff like that. 4 months is a long time, but I've heard of some from very long notice periods. Man, it's late.
Yeah.